What's up guys, it's me Packy and I'm here at Shocker Sports Grill and Lanes. I'm here to teach you guys about how to strike from every area on the lane, arrows 1 through 6. I'm going to teach you guys how to strike from every arrow. Unfortunately, I'm on lane 8, so I got this wall right next to me, so it's going to be a little hard to strike from arrow number 7, but 1 through 6, I'm going to tell you guys about the different hand positions, the different ball speeds I use to strike from each area. Try and give some tips and pointers to you guys about how you can do the same. This is going to be straight up. I'm going to show you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm going to show you guys all of it, every single piece of it, and show you guys some of my flaws as well as some areas that I really succeed at. So here we go, arrows 1 through 6, how to strike from every part of the lane. So as I'm going across this video, I want you guys to comment down below what your favorite place to play is, where you play on your general league house shot. For me, it is third arrow. I play pretty much 15 out to 6, 7, 8, and that's just what works on my house shot. So obviously I can play multiple different parts of the lane with my purple hammer, but with the other balls, I'll show you guys what I can do here. But as for that, I want to hear what you guys comment down below and tell me where you play on the lanes during your league. So the first thing I'm going to do is play out on first arrow. Naturally, first arrow, first thing. And I'm going to use the same ball throughout the entire drill. So some of the tips and tricks for me to play first arrow, I'm going to roll it a little heavy. I'm going to up my ball speed a little bit. Even though there's a longer pattern out there, I'm going to up the ball speed and try and keep my hand really up the back to make sure that I don't get too much angle. As I cover more boards and move deeper across the lane, I might need more rotation. But for right now, out on first arrow, I'm going to need very minimal rotation, if almost any at all, to make sure that I don't go high and I can keep my ball hit in the pocket. All right. First arrow, first try. 0 for 1. Back. Make sure I keep it in front of me here. Don't miss too much. So as I went across trying to play first arrow, it took me 5 shots to get my first strike out there. And what I learned from this is that the pattern is super long, so I didn't need to roll it as much as I did. I didn't need to throw it as fast as I thought I needed to, but with the pattern being as long as it was, I needed to add a little bit more rotation. And I think as I go across the arrows here, I'm gonna need to add more and more rotation and maybe even slow my ball speed down a little bit to make sure I can get it back from that break point right around 7, 8 is where I'm thinking it will be. So here we go. I'm going to play second arrow now. I'm going to try and move in, 5 at the arrows, move into second arrow, hopefully slow the ball speed down a little bit, increase the rotation, but I still think I'm going to need to keep it pretty far in front of me to be able to strike. So let's see how many shots second arrow takes me. All right, a little more rotation here. Again, second arrow, a little more rotation. Oh, first shot, really good, hit the pocket. Okay, that was a little inside of second arrow. Again, keep that rotation. Still a medium speed here. Hook. Okay, maybe not quite as fast. All right, got to keep it a little more in front of me than the last one. Again, second arrow. All right. So out there at second arrow, the tricks and tips that I use, I rotated it. Like I said, as I move across the arrows, I might rotate it a little more. I used the same amount of rotation as first arrow. I just tried to slow the ball speed down a little bit and keep that angle a little less in front of me. So first arrow was almost straight, pretty far up and down the boards, whereas second arrow, I sent it from 10 out to about 7, 8 with a little rotation and a slower ball speed to give it more time to recover. Because as I cross more boards across the lane, I'm going to need to give the ball more time and more angle to come back and hit the pocket. So as I move into third arrow, I think I'm going to throw it even slower than I did there and add even more rotation. So hopefully it takes me 3 shots again. Oh, that's just a bad shot. A little slower ball speed. A little slower ball speed here. And a way better shot. Yo, 2 shots. Was that at third arrow? Pretty much, a little in, but yeah. Oh, that's so bad again. Let's try and actually hit third arrow. Well, I need to throw it from 13 to like 8, 9. And that was at 13. Now to like 5. And then it just kept going. All right, finally got it. So it took me 2 shots to strike, and then I wanted to go out there and make sure I hit third arrow on the dot, and didn't go so well because my eyes, the way they work is normally I miss 2 right at the arrows, so that's why, as you see, my first shots are always a couple in, and then I adjust, move a little further left, and then aim it. So right now I'm aiming at 13, trying to hit 15, and when I tried to adjust and hit third arrow, you saw that pattern super long. It just carried that ball all the way out there. I didn't think it was gonna go in the gutter, but my angles were just terrible. Fixed it up, struck on that 4th shot again, or struck on that 5th shot again, so I struck after 2 shots, and as expected, 2nd and 3rd arrow really are probably going to be the easiest, and now as I move to 4th, 5th, and 6th arrow, it's just gonna be a little more challenging because I'm not used to playing that far in. A lot of lefties don't see the transition that righties do, which means as they move across the lane, they're just a little less familiar because they're not used to seeing the amount of friction that righties see throughout the course of a tournament. But 4th arrow shouldn't be too bad, but as I get to 5th and 6th arrow, I think I'm gonna have some struggles. So 4th arrow, once again, I'm gonna try and throw it out to like 8, 9, and I'm gonna try and, again, throw it even slower and even more rotation at the bottom. So here we go. Here we go, 4th arrow, shot number 1. A little too up the back, gotta get a little more around it. So as I'm sitting down here on the lanes, as you guys can see, the pin's right behind me. We're discovering this pattern about midway through the video. I was curious to see how long it was, and this pattern's about 43, 44 feet. It ends, you know, right around the end of that 2nd tracer. Oil. No oil. You can see where the pattern ends almost. Right. As we follow along, oil, no oil. So it's a super long pattern, which means playing 1st arrow was obviously going to be a little more challenging. I had to make sure it was super far in front of me so I didn't have to cross too many boards. And as I miss left throughout this video, you'll see it just really hang there. It's making it a little more challenging with the length of this pattern, but definitely something that is a fun challenge for me, and I can use some of those tips and tricks to help you guys even on sport patterns. This isn't just a house shot as I move across the lane. Every pattern you can use some of these tips and tricks to adjust your ball roll, your ball speed to help you guys find the pocket more often, especially when they're hard. Let's get back into 4th arrow. Slower ball speed and a little more rotation than 3rd arrow. Let's see if I can double up for you. Oh, all right, but a really good shot. So I said the 4th arrow was gonna be one of the harder ones for me as I get to 5th and 6th, even harder, and then hardest after that. But 2 shots. That first one I could visibly see my ball rolling super heavy down the lane, and I'll show you guys right here. You could see it roll super forward, end over end, which when it got to that break point, which was, you know, 8, 9, 10, exactly where I wanted it to be, it just went super straight off the back of the pattern. So I'm gonna need to add a little more rotation, which I did on shot number 2, as you guys can see here. And as I added that rotation, it just popped back off the back of the pattern and got back to high flush right in the pocket for you. So that's my trick to arrow number 4. I added a little more rotation, slowed the ball speed down even more. And as I get to 5th arrow, once again, I'm gonna make that same move. That shot I threw 13.7. I'm hoping, it says 13.7 on the monitor. It was probably 14.5, 15. So this shot, I'm assuming on the monitor, it'll read about 13.0, maybe low 13, and a little more rotation again. So here we go, 5th arrow. Need to still get it out to like 10, moving up on the approach a little bit. That was the correct speed, I just didn't pitch it out far enough. Speed was correct. Let's try and get a little more angle on this one, get it out to like that 8, 9. That was out to 5, 4, 3. It's gonna be challenging. Here we go. Hook. Ay, ay, ay. It's tough. More rotation, slower ball speed. Just gotta throw better shots. Angle's so hard to get. Attempt number 4. Same ball speed, a little more rotation. Let's see if I can get a double. I only hit the pocket like twice, so see if I can get a double. It's gonna be pretty challenging. Yo, got a double from there. Fifth arrow has been the most challenging by far. You guys can see that as, you know, my first 3 shots weren't really that close. One was way inside, the other 2 were way left, and I just couldn't quite get that angle right just because I'm not really used to playing there, and the lanes are still really fresh, so the smallest miss room is gonna make the biggest difference. After figuring it out just a little bit, some tips and tricks, I had to move my eyes a little further down lane to make sure that I could hit that same break point down there and really open up the lanes to the correct amount. When I moved my eyes in, second and third frame shots both just went way out the window, so as I moved my eyes a little further down lane, a little more consistency at the break point, but even though fifth arrow was the hardest, it was also the only one I've doubled in. So as I get to sixth arrow, hopefully I've learned a couple tricks from fifth arrow and I can translate those over to sixth arrow. I'm gonna keep my eyes a little further down lane, looking at 8, 9 at the break point, hopefully getting it to the pocket in the first couple shots. So sixth arrow, the hardest one, the most challenging for us lefties. Here we go. Hook super early. Does that count as hitting the pocket? What do you think? No? Yeah? No? Okay. I don't know if the ball speed's gotta be super slow, but try and keep it around the same as fifth arrow. Hit the wall. Oh, it had to be super slow. 12.8. One Brooklyn, one out the window. I'm gonna move even further up on the approach. Ooh. God, that was close. Okay, so maybe not so much rotation. A little more up the back. Shot number 4. Damn. 6 pin and 7/10. So maybe the same amount of rotation and a little more ball speed. Same amount of rotation, a little faster ball speed. Hey. So as you can see, super touchy out there. I've thrown one Brooklyn, one out the window, hit the pocket twice in a row, tried to get it to strike by using the rotation, just made it really snap down lane, and then I rolled one and at 7/10 just because it came in super flat. So after that, made another speed adjustment, obviously, from that one. The shot wasn't that bad of a shot, I just can't throw it that fast, so I have to make sure it's under 13 miles an hour on the monitor at least. And then from there, I have to make sure my hand probably just around it a little bit where that 6 pin was, and just a touch more of rotation. The rotation is super sensitive just because the angle I'm playing. The very smallest amount of roll or extra rotation that I put on it is gonna make the biggest difference down lane. So it's just super touchy, and I gotta make sure I throw a really good shot here with the correct amount of rotation, which is a lot. Lots of rotation, appropriate ball speed, and here we go. Hook. Hey, challenging. It's the right speed, just a little left. Let's hit 9 down lane, please. That's pretty good. Ah, carry issue. Just gonna throw the same shot and hope for a better result. So once again, as I told you guys, sixth arrow proved to be the most difficult. It took me, I don't know how many shots, 6, 7, 8 shots. I hit the pocket on a couple, but as I hit the pocket, it just seemed like carry was an issue, whether it was my hand not being around it enough, the speed being too fast, the speed being too slow. It was so touchy as I got into sixth arrow. So I want you guys to comment down below what arrow you think I should play if I was to bowl a whole game here. My initial guess would be third or fourth arrow. It just seemed to be the most forgiving. It was the easiest to hit the pocket, and the shots that I missed a little bit on didn't give me that huge split. Whereas sixth arrow, I split every time I missed, it felt like. So, or I missed the head pin completely. So sixth arrow obviously proved to be the hardest. That was my tips and tricks to bowling on every arrow, bowling in every zone, and moving across arrows 1 through 6. What you can do to adjust your ball roll and ball speed to help you guys hit the pocket more often and strike more. So thanks for watching my little different video, tips and tricks this time, and I will catch you guys on the next one, whether it's a challenge video or a vlog. Peace.
sure.